Hi, everybody. Another wonderful Wednesday.
Yes.
And hi, my beautiful cosmic sister, soul sister, cosmic being, co host, fantastic, wonderful human,
Oh,
all the way from Mesa, Arizona, and myself, Anne, from Rhodes in Greece. So, welcome to the Cosmic Sister Show with Anne and Corrine. And we are opening the portal to a topic everyone feels, but very few dare to name:
mhm.
obsession.
Obsession.
Yes, that magnetic pull, that mysterious whisper, that sometimes maddening loop that won't let go. In this episode, we step into the heart of this charged energy to explore why certain thoughts, people, ideas, or dreams hook us so deeply, and what obsession is really trying to reveal beneath the surface. Obsession isn't just a distraction, it's a signal, a frequency, a cosmic invitation asking you to look closer. Join us as we decode the magnetic, mysterious, and sometimes maddening energy of obsession and transform it into clarity, power, and soulful direction. Today is Wednesday, August 5th in US and Europe, and our future Australia, we have Thursday, August 6th. And again, we discuss the magnetic, mysterious, and sometimes maddening energy of obsession. Last Wednesday, last show, July 29th, we talked about the universe is speaking. Are you listening?
Mhm.
So, like everything else, the universe is telling us something when it comes to obsession. And what is that, right? Everything is connected. It's like a chain. We talk about one thing and we have the chain and then we go on, right?
Mhm.
We do go live on YouTube every week at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 slash streams and youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth slash streams. And we stream the replay at facebook.com/ Cosmic Guardians. Now, sorry, let's take a deep breath together and arrive fully into this moment and dive deep into today's show.
Mhm.
So, welcome again.
Yes.
Yes, Miss Karine.
Okay. When does obsession become an uncomfortable beast instead of a brilliant form of creation? Ah, can be both. It can be both. It's like itself, we would not be here. We would not be here if there was not an obsession in our DNA to create something. And it kept creating and it kept trying and it kept finding out that's not going to work and this is going to work. But something so powerful drove it to actually create the cells that now create us. So, in
Yes,
many ways, the I will never give up, I will never give in, I will keep going forever is a force that actually drives us to survival. And when we use it in that creative way, we are unstoppable. The many things, the perseverance of anyone who's failed over and over and over. But you're driven by this glimpse of something beyond ourselves, and that keeps us going. And that you could call as an obsession with moving forward. I mean, Tesla, excuse me, my tongue, Madame Curie, Helen Keller, and the millions more of people and men, but mostly women, that were knocked down, ridiculed, overlooked, punished because they had a desire to think outside of the accepted patterns. I mean, even Galileo and Michelangelo, Bach. I love the writer, Bach. I mean, he wrote Jonathan Livingston's Seagull and some beautiful things, and put me on a path of awakening. It was amazing. But without his without their obsession to finish and accomplish what they set out to do, uh, we may still be one-celled amoebas. So
Yeah.
obsession, that is the creative, and we will be talking about how that can flip later on in the show.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because there are certain energies that move through the human experience with a force that is difficult to ignore. Obsession is one of them because it can be felt so strongly, right?
Yeah.
It arrives quietly at first, like a soft pull in the chest, a spark of curiosity, a subtle fascination that feels harmless. But as it grows, it becomes magnetic, it becomes mysterious, and at times it does become maddening, when it flips over too much, right? But
Yes.
obsession is not always a sign of imbalance. Sometimes it is the soul trying to get your attention. It is the inner compass pointing towards something unresolved, something unexpressed, something waiting to be understood. It is a spotlight illuminating a part of your inner world that has been asking for recognition. And it's asking for your recognition, not the recognition and confirmation and feedback from someone else, right?
Exactly. And last week we were talking about listening, listening,
Yes.
and watching for the signs and being aware. And I think sometimes when we get complacent, the universe kind of needs to kind of shake us up a little bit, and we'll get this desire to read that book, and then you got to read this book, and then you got to read the book that goes with that book, and all of a sudden you become absorbed and almost obsessed with finishing this series because that's where it's leading you. And when you have that kind of a drive, like I said, you have awakened and you have listened and stepped into um, moving forward. And maybe, like me, I'm a class A procrastinator, and sometimes a good dose of obsession really gets me going. I After almost a year of not being able to get things done in my backyard, I became obsessed with getting that thing finished, getting that thing finished, getting that thing finished. And in that way, it was a good push to get me going. And it was, as you said, very mysterious. I mean, yes, I could see it, but I could also ignore it because I'm a procrastinator. But something bigger than the procrastination came through and said, "You're going to get this done. You're going to do it." But I'm
Yeah.
tired. No, you're going to do it. I don't care. You're going to do it. You know, and uh, and thank goodness it's being accomplished. Thank you. Thank you.
You yes, and you could say that obsession combined with, you say, being tenacious and I say being stubborn, that can be a
Absolutely.
win-win because we don't quit, right? We don't
Yes, it
quit.
can.
But
It
there's a
can.
fine line between when you reap the energy of obsession to your advantage
Yep.
and when it flips over to the other side, when it becomes
Yes.
maddening and you get stuck. That's not very nice, right? So the
Exactly.
the the energy of obsession often appears when something touches a deep layer or desire or longing, something that comes from within.
Hmm.
It may be a person, an idea, a vision, a memory, or a possibility that awakens a dormant part of you. So that feels good, right, in the beginning. It
Hmm.
may feel irrational, overwhelming, or even inconvenient, yet beneath the intensity lies the message. So, obsession reveals where your energy is trying to move. It shows you what your heart is hungry for. It exposes the places where your soul is calling for expansion. And here's a very important part because many people can be obsessed with things and another person. If I don't get a relationship with that person, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm obsessed. I want to learn everything about them. And I can understand that. But here's the thing, if obsession is a sign for you, a message for you, what it really tells you that your soul wants to be seen by you, right?
Hmm.
Acknowledge that you can take place in your life, right? Yes, please.
Yes. And as I said, when you have something that needs to be accomplished, and you stick to it and you stay with it, and that determination. But when it becomes the beast, and it is pushing you to, I find that when a person is obsessed with another person, when we're dealing with that kind of relationship, it becomes possessive, it becomes dominating, it becomes manipulative, and it really is not for the highest good of either person. When you work on yourself and you find your authenticity, and you can trust that authenticity, then you start listening to the universe and realizing that use this wonderful creative power to stay focused and get that done, rather than obsessing with controlling a situation. When you're creating, you're not in control.
No, you're
You're
not.
you're 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 going with the flow, and you're still, but you're staying with it. But when you become focused on one item, like, I have to possess all the gold in the world, and I am going to do whatever it takes to get everything. I'm going to walk over people. I'm going to walk over countries. I'm going to have pile. I'm going to sit as in the Lord of the Rings, my precious. You've got to possess it.
Yeah.
And in that way, if you learn how to be authentic with yourself, then you can trust that this desire to move forward, this obsession to get something done, is coming from truth. It's not going to be in any way possessing a person, possessing a thing. It is going to be creating. And when
Yeah.
it's creative, it's a wonderful force. When it's destructive, not so happy.
Not so happy. Um, the mysterious quality of obsession comes from its ability to bypass logic. So
Yeah.
we come into this world with all our senses, and to navigate this world, we need all our senses, right? We need our logic as well. But this world is teaching us that that is the only thing we need, and that is not really true. in my perception, and I know yours as well, right?
Right. Yeah.
So the quality of obsession does not care about timing or practicality, it does not wait for permission. It rises from the subconscious, carrying truths that the conscious mind has not yet caught up with. That is coming from deep layers within us.
Hmm.
This is why obsession can feel maddening. It disrupts your usual patterns, it pulls your attention again and again. And that's where we can get stuck, right?
Hmm.
In a loop. Disrupts your usual patterns, it pulls your attention again and again. It refuses to be ignored. It asks you to look deeper, to ask more questions, right? To
Hmm.
feel more honesty, to confront what you have avoided. But because we go so much with the mind, and we say many times, I heard so many people say, but I can't do anything about that because I just want that person. He's sitting
Exactly.
in my heart or she's sitting in my heart. Yeah, well, that is your idea
Hmm.
about something. Because when you, as Miss Green said, when you are authentic, when you do really love yourself, you realize that you don't need, now we have that word also,
Yep.
neediness, needing.
Right.
You don't need another person to fulfill. Another person is not going to fill that gap within you. You had to do that,
Yes,
right?
and I it was interesting, a thought that came to me. Um, yes, I do watch a lot of different shows. However, it gives me glimpses into how the human mind works and how things work. And I just noticed that this one show that I was watching was currently made, 2026,
Yeah.
2026. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, they are still mulling over the same uh, ideas that have been going on for centuries that have never accomplished anything, like misunderstanding, assuming somebody is saying something and that's not exactly what they meant, but then they're going off and they're drawing this whole conclusion on what they assumed that person meant. And I'm going, well, it makes a good show because you can add a whole nother hour dealing with this assumption. But I go, when are we going to be to a point where all of humanity takes the time to pause before they make a decision, base their decisions on true facts, and ask for facts rather than assuming that's what they meant or adding this to it? It was an interesting observation about my own self to realize that there is that loop of
Yeah.
staying in the same patterns, doing the same thing, expecting different results. And it was just an observation on my own that we really have a little bit more uh, need to, well, there's no need. We don't need. Uh, there is definitely an opportunity for improvement. Now, did you see what I did? I spoke
Yes.
impeccably. I
Yeah.
I changed. My brain goes, "Oh no, you're falling into a pattern. Let's put this in a positive thing." You know,
Good on you, right?
it's uh, good on my crew that keeps me intact. And they go, "You really want to say it that way? Is there another way?"
So
Yes.
here we start coming into the juicy parts of this topic, right?
Yes.
Obsession is not ever meant to control you. It is meant to awaken you. When you meet the energy of obsession with awareness rather than fear, it becomes a guide. It
Yeah.
becomes a teacher. It becomes a doorway into a more authentic version of yourself. So you can ask yourself what the obsession is pointing toward. Is it highlighting a desire you have suppressed? And when you look within with these questions, right, don't um, put them out there that someone else is going to answer them for you. The knight on the white horse is going to come, or the queen
Yep.
on the white horse, right?
Yep.
A person is going to come and fill that gap for you and do, because this is coming from within you. It's showing you, it's a mirror. Or is it revealing a part of you that wants expression? Is it showing you where you have given your power away? Because that is something we very often do,
Hmm.
specifically before we get a little bit aware. Is it reminding you of a dream you abandoned? Is it calling you toward healing? Is it inviting you into deeper truth? So when you explore obsession with curiosity rather than judgment, its intensity softens, the energy begins to shift. What once felt overwhelming becomes illuminating. What once felt chaotic becomes clarifying. So when I have an obsession towards another person, what is that really telling me, right? It tells me that I want to fill a gap. Something feels like an empty space within me, right? And as we said before, is that other person, that is very high expectations and also assumptions,
Yeah.
hard pressure on that person coming in to feel all those things within you, right?
Hmm.
Plus something else, because we live in a universe where we exchange energy, and we are energy and frequency and vibration. We will attract the frequency and vibration we carry within. Think about that for a moment. That's so
Yes.
important. So what
Yes.
you aim for, you need to have a resonating frequency and vibration and energy for that, right?
Yes. And it's interesting that you use those exact terms. It's almost as if you sit in on my meditation group on Tuesday nights, because I was
I was probably hoovering over you guys. I'm just,
I was coaching a young lady that came a little early, and she is working in a job. She got fired from the job that was okay, but it was more pay, and I don't know all the other circumstances. But she's now in this job. It's not fulfilling her. It's not what she wanted, and everything else. And so getting up and going into work is arduous. It's very, So I said to her last night, because we've been working with this for a couple of weeks, and I said, so when you get up and you go into work, what is your attitude towards work? Oh, it's another day. I'm not making enough money. I'm this and everything else. I said, you may not be able to change, and you definitely can't change the people or the circumstances, but you can change how you perceive the day. Yes, it's not the greatest in the world, but if you look at it like, this has given me an opportunity to find what I really want to find. This is I'm grateful for the fact that I am going to be able to do this today. Change how you perceive it. And I think when we become obsessed with something and we realize that this is maybe a desire that I have that I haven't fulfilled, but how can I bring it into my reality without having to knock everything else down. I, I'm sorry, the words are coming and they're not making sense to me either. Um, I'm on another frequency here. Let me. Ah, they're trying to give me something that is beyond what we can think about right now. Um, but when you allow yourself to change your perception, that's when you make the changes instead of just obsessing over the fact that you don't have a good job. Use
Yes.
that energy to say, I'm grateful for what I have right now, and it's not going to be forever, and it's going to open up into something else. And then you're not going like this every
Yeah.
time you go to work. And
Yeah. I have a story from my own life, and I call that period, which actually lasted a little bit over 2 years. And I was
yeah,
thinking to myself, it's a long time ago, how can I be stuck? I have tried to develop and grow and understand so many things. How can I be stuck? Because I really felt stuck. But the key was that I tried to either think about the past, not so much for me, but I also thought about, okay, when am I going to make that change? When is that going to happen? When is that going to happen? So what it made me do, I wasn't in the present moment. And
mhm.
I started working with a healer, and I think I told that before. My soul sister Sue
Yes,
referred me to a healer in the US called Brenda. She was a blessing. She did her thing, but that helped a lot because it got me unstuck. But the thing
yep,
is, she opened the doors and helped me with her energy, but I had to do the self work, right? So
that's
what
right.
I started to do, I said to myself, okay, this is how it is right now. This is not my dream scenario. This is not where I want to be always, right? But I feel I accept this is how it looks right now. I just accept that. And I do work on myself. And that helped. Because when we try to, you could say, escape by living in the past or living in the future, nothing is going to change.
No,
And obsession is not the enemy, it's a signal. It's a mirror, it's a catalyst, it's a reminder that something within you is ready to evolve. So listen, but we need to listen. Your healer is not going to listen for you. Your healer may reveal messages for you, but you need to grasp what's happening, what the messages mean,
yes,
what they say to you. And obsession becomes maddening only when you resist its message, which was what I did, right?
yes.
So I had myself stuck, and I call that part the dark night of the soul because it was really, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah,
When, you know, when you try to suppress the message, when you fear what it might reveal, but when you allow yourself to listen, the madness dissolves into meaning. The magnetic pull becomes guidance. The mystery becomes understanding. The intensity becomes transformation.
yeah. And that is really true. And I love the word listening and hearing. We hear a lot of things, but do we take the time to listen, to really listen to the energy that is being said? Because one of the things that I find that when you take that pause and you slow down and you stop analyzing the words that are coming out and begin to listen to the intent, listen to the emotion, listen to the vibration, listen to the frequency, you begin to hear things that you never heard before.
Yes.
And the obsessions that we have will drive us to get things done. And thank goodness, because it did take a strong kick in the derriere
Behind.
uh, to uh, to each morning get up and look at the things that had to be moved, the things that had to be shifted, all the work, and knowing physically I didn't have the strength to just get out there and do them like I did before. But each day I did a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. However, when that task was accomplished, I did not let that obsession that, okay, now I'm going to add another thing to it. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. I didn't let it become my controller. It was my motivation, but not saying you have no will at all and we're going to just keep you going and everything else. And this is why really learning to love yourself and find your authentic self, you
Yeah.
can start utilizing these wonderful emotions and not have them brutalize you.
Yeah.
Utilize, not brutalize.
And I can tell you from my today story, and I actually, we have a huge land here. It's 10,000 square meters. Yeah, exactly. A lot of work, a lot of olive trees, oranges, lemons,
Wow.
grape wines, and a lot of weeds, and a lot of thorns and bushes. I'm just like you. So I can't also do everything in the way I used to do them. So I had to household with my energy, but my obsession tells me that I'm going to take one piece each day. So today I did it for 2.5 hours, and that's kind of much for me. Clearing out thorns and weeds from the garden. But I
I know.
made a section, right? And I know that eventually uh, it's going to be cleared. I don't know how many thorns we have here, to be honest. It's so funny, but it's a help. But anything, any energy in this universe, think of it as there's a negative side of it, and the other polarity is a
Yeah,
positive one for you.
absolutely.
Doesn't mean that everybody's seeing it the same way because we are all unique. So what works for me may not automatically work for you. Maybe what I perceive as the negative side for me would be the positive for you, right?
Exactly.
But listen to you, and I promise, I rarely promise things. I promise that when we approach life in this way, we can accomplish anything.
That's right. And
Anything.
everything in our life has the yin and the yang. Every emotion. Some people say, "Oh, well, I never get angry." Well, anger is an emotion that is going to motivate you that something needs to change. In
Yes.
fact, in Chinese, the symbol for anger is it's two little stick people and they're walking away from each other. It literally means that you come to a point where you've got to make a choice to go right or left. You can't keep just boiling in it. You need to come to a focus. And any emotion that we have is there, it can be a very positive emotion even though it doesn't seem like it. And then if it overcomes you and becomes you, then it becomes detrimental to you.
Yeah.
But if it
Yeah.
is there as a tool, it's like when I do things and I need a shovel. Well, I'm not going to get a saw. It's not going to work. So finding the right thing that is going to keep you going. And if at this particular time obsession is in its creative state and it's moving you forward, then you get something done. If it's moving you to control someone else, then you've lost control. And,
Yes,
you know yourself.
exactly. And, when you honor the energy without the energy of obsession, without letting it consume you, you
That's right.
reclaim your power because you make your choices. You reclaim your clarity. You reclaim your inner truth. And in that moment, obsession is no longer maddening. So when it becomes maddening, it's all of those things Miss Corrine said, right? When we
Yep.
get stuck in a loop and we have the perception that we can't get out of there. But the
Yep.
idea that I'm obsessed with a person and that person doesn't want to have a relationship with me, that is my idea. And I'm making myself a victim by believing that if I can't have that person, my life is ruined. That's not true. That's an idea. If you
Yes.
love yourself, because and we stated this so many times, our relationship with self is a lifetime. It is from the day
Oh,
we are born
yes.
into this world into the day we transition back home. Okay.
Yeah.
And even as souls, we have a relationship, a soul relationship with self, right? So we are worthy. We don't need, and by the way, no one wants to have a needy person in their life in a relationship, someone that needs you. Maybe we say that sometimes. Well, we don't, you and I, right? But there are people and they think that it sounds romantic, like I can't live without you. I'm living for you.
Yeah.
Life would be nothing without you. Things of that nature. No, it's not romantic. Think about what you're stating, because as long as you feel victimized and that you are stuck in that loop of obsession with one person, you are, how do you say, depriving yourself from meeting the person that actually would love to have a relationship with you, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And uh, I remember one young lady that came, and I mean, she came under the guise that she wanted to um, kind of get through her stuff. But you can tell when someone comes, but they want to talk, but they don't want to listen. And
Yeah.
not that I have all the answers, and believe me, I don't. However, her statement was, "He is my person." Now, he left the country, went back to his home country, has not had contact with her, does not want to associate with her in any way, shape, or form. But he is my person, and I am going to stay obsessed with the fact that he belongs to me and he's my person, and he's going to be convinced that I'm supposed to be in his life, and he will come around and he will listen. And I'm listening to this and I'm going, um, well, it's nice that I'm getting paid and I don't even have to open my mouth because she's got it all figured out. And you know, and I wasn't going to argue. I was there to, and I said one thing. I said, "What are you doing for you?" And she says, "Well, I'm going to go after him because this is going to be my life, and this is going." And I'm going, "Okay, thank you very much," but I that that is where she chose to be, and sometimes you just have to allow people to. You always have to allow people to be where they are, and that was, she was so blinded by her. This is what it's going to be. That's what she was going to take away from the session, and Um,
Yeah.
with people like that, you just bless them and hope for the best, and and hope maybe there was one word or something that would start maybe unwinding or stopping, slowing down the loop. Just slow it down for a moment to take a breath.
Yeah. It is interesting, and we are not judging anyone here.
No, not
Please
at
know
all.
that.
Because I mean,
But
I've had my child's too.
yeah, but these are really important things to be aware of. You
Yeah,
know, I talk to a lot of people, and many of them actually are caught in a loop. I do my best to try to
yeah,
talk about things, so opening up other pathways and stuff of that nature. But it's the person who has to make that decision, who has to make that choice, who has to
absolutely.
change direction in life. It's not like nothing in my perception is written in stone. Yeah, I believe we have a contract when we come in here, but I think it's very briefly. We don't have all the details.
That's right.
And maybe we are not doing everything either. So nothing is written in stone. There's no such a thing that I know I have a soul mate or a twin flame. I call all of those soul connections. And there's a reason for that because there's so much terminology. The thing is, when we have a soul connection with someone, that means that we share a specific energy, like you and I, right?
Mhm.
And with
Right.
someone else, I'm going to have a different energy, right? So
Mhm.
that's what this is all about. And it doesn't mean that, okay, we meet in this life and Miss Corrine is going to make a choice that she doesn't want to continue with me. Am I going to be obsessed with her because of, no, I'm going to be sad, of course. But when we love someone unconditionally, I'm not telling you to abandon me, right?
No, no,
I'm
no, no,
just
no.
kidding.
I very much understand that.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
I
But
could be used as an example.
yeah, but I can let her go with love
That's
for the
right.
time we had. When you have had a relationship with someone, you don't have to go into war with them. And it's
Exactly.
many times it's also personal, the energy between people. Why can't you be friends with an ex? Why?
Yes.
Who
Uh,
says
and
you
and
cannot?
yes, and I did not know that that was so uncommon. Um, but when my 23-year marriage dissolved, I knew that I had put everything I could into it on my end, and it was going to dissolve. And I blessed it, and I let it go. And I took our wedding rings and I buried them. I had a ceremony, and I literally buried them in the backyard because it was the death of that relationship. But I did not hate him. I did not go after him. I did not destroy him with the children. I realized that that was a part of my life, and now I was moving into another part of my life.
Yeah.
I can talk about things in the relationships like I'm reading a book, but there is no, oh, and then he this, and I could have that. And she's, you know, because that's only going to hurt me. That's going to
Yes,
hurt me.
and
And I
that
love
is
me.
also, yes, you love you, and I love myself too. And whatever you mentioned there, and I did, that's obsession, right? In
Yeah,
in on the side where it's not going to be so positive for anyone, right?
exactly.
So we
Exactly.
can't be obsessed. Instead, someone who doesn't want to form a relationship with me, well, I can let them go with love.
Exactly.
Even someone who would treat me badly, call me names or, whatever, treat me in a bad manner, I would put my distance up. But it doesn't mean I would hate them or I would make things miserable for them because that is revenge. That's not
Exactly.
a good energy.
I I have enough work taking, enough. enough beautiful challenges to find my authentic self, and I really don't have time to spend trying to destroy someone else. So I mean, I'm sorry, I am going to lovingly let you go. And if that's a problem with you, well, that's your problem. That's not mine. Um,
No.
and
But of course, sometimes we do feel it. We
yeah,
have,
we feel
and
it.
another thing is that most people doesn't want to be in that, even if it's only for an hour. They don't want to be in that sad moment when you feel like crying. But
Yep,
let it out of your system. Don't hold it back.
that's
Let it
right.
out of your system. Because
Yep,
when you are in that mode of resistance, and we talked about this before too, you are going to hold on to that. So
yeah,
resistance, that's not a good thing to do because it keeps you in the loop, right? Keeps you sad
exactly.
for a long time. It keeps you
And
angry for a longer time.
yeah, it's interesting because we talk a lot about spiritual hygiene, and we will take care of brushing our teeth and washing our hair and changing our clothes and cleaning our house. But then when it comes to our personal life, it's like, well, I'm going to just hang on to this, and I'm not going to let that anger go because I'm so angry and everything else. Well, when you let it go, when you shed the tears, when you say, this was a relationship and it's over now and I'm blessing it and I'm letting it go, there is something that viscerally happens within your cells that lies there. Hi there, is that Sonia?
Yeah, that's Sonia. Welcome,
Ah,
beautiful soul.
hello, hello, hello. Um, when you let it go, you let it go. I mean, a lot of times I will give an example to people and I say, okay, here's your little garbage bag. Now take it and put it in the garbage. Now, take that garbage and go put it in the big garbage can so you can't go in there and find it anymore. Because people will keep their garbage sitting on the counter and then they'll go through it and they'll dig through it again. And they'll dig through it again. And I'm going, okay, put it in there and then carry it out and absolutely let it go. And when you do that, you do not become obsessive with a person because you can stay focused and creative and see where the relationship is going to go. And if it is not the choice of the other person to be in that type of an energy with you, then bless it
Yeah.
and let it go.
Yeah. And even if it's someone who is not bringing you something like nice energies and things, yeah, you need to do that, Sonia.
Yes,
So we all need to consider these things because we have this thinking also. If I let go of one person, if I finally release that, um, a relationship or whatever it is that doesn't function in a way that's making us happy, then we are fearful. Am I going to be alone for the rest of my life? No, no one is ever going to be alone. But
no.
it's something part of what we have been taught in this world. Look at the TV, what they are, tell a vision,
Oh,
right? What they are telling us,
that's right.
movies. And we're supposed to be very romantic, or we're supposed to have people. Okay. Sonia says she has trouble with someone. She's calling them a snake. Sent me a message. Yeah. So
Yes,
here's the thing with that person. I'm going to say it here for other to understand too, because they don't know exactly who I'm talking about.
yes,
The thing is, it's a sign. If we take that step back and we observe the situation, do I feel good? around this person? Does it bring me anything good? Sometimes we want to help someone, and that's fine, but we also need to know when to stop if that's going to cross some
Yes.
boundaries or whatever is going to be, right?
Yes.
Um, and we're not going to be alone. I hope that makes sense. Beautiful, Sonia.
Yes. And I would add to that people that keep uh, trying to bring you down with their messages, that's their inadequacies.
Yes.
And that's their form of thinking they're getting at you and making that choice that you've got your life and I've got my life, and we're going to go a different direction, and just disallowing those messages to have an effect on you, or needing feeling you have to respond. You do not have to respond. You can just say, okay, I send you a big bundle of love. You do whatever you want with it, but that's there, and hopefully you'll get to the point where what they're saying has no effect on you, because it's like I would be talking to the wall. You're a terrible wall. I don't like your color today and everything else. Well, the wall is good. I'm just a wall, and I don't. I'm
Yeah.
not going to accept that now.
And here's one more thing, and this is something, it doesn't it- everything is a process when it comes to self-work, but being aware of what happens, we always have the power of our response to something.
Right.
We don't actually need to take on the energy anyone is sending
That's
us.
right.
We
That's
don't
right.
need to do that. That is
Yeah.
our right. It doesn't make us bad people. And if someone has an opinion about me, yeah, well, that's fine. You can have your opinion because
Yeah.
you just have a fraction of you what's going on in my life. You don't really know all the details, and I'm not obligated to tell you either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, talking to someone, not to you guys.
Yeah.
I changed way of expressing myself because it's up to us, and we don't need to allow that stress someone else is bringing us. Don't allow
Exactly.
it. Just stop.
And
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 some
and
I sorry.
go ahead.
Sometimes saying stop means there are a lot of people who can't actually take. They want to drag us into drama, so they want to pull us in and they want to start that discussion. Don't start it. Just
Yeah.
if you have to say something, state what you have to say, send love, like you said, Corinne, and just leave it. What they do with it is up to them. But
Yes.
what you do with yourself, that is your power. Does that make sense?
Very much so. And we do have choices now, depending on whether this is a situation where it's somebody that is like your boss or something else. You have to have different a little different tactics to do this. But just because something is said online, or something is said to us, or something is said about us, we do not have to have a response to that. We don't have to defend ourselves, and that's where we're taught that if something is said about us, we have to defend it. No, we can just say, well, that's their opinion. That this is a hard thing to do, but eventually you'll get to where I have this attitude. Now, I'm not going around being mean and nasty to people, but I also have this attitude that whatever they think of me is not my business. you know,
No.
it's so if they don't like my hairdo that day, if they don't like this, or if they don't like the way that I wear caftans all the time, uh, that's none of my business. They're entitled to their opinion. I don't have to respond to it and defend myself, is what I'm saying. And
Exactly.
this this is where, gradually you get to the point. Uh, I had a situation where my son was having some real challenges, and I called his counselor and I said, "What do I do about this situation?" And he said, "You have choices. You look at black and white. No, you can either say nothing and let the behavior continue. You can." He had brought some illegal stuff into the house, some marijuana, and he says, "You can call the police and tell them about it, or you can, just keep trying to talk to him." So I had choices. I could choose. I chose to call the police and have my 16-year-old son arrested, house arrest, and he went through probation. But guess what? He understood the consequences of the actions. But I could have ignored it and then had a bigger problem. Choose what is best for you.
Yeah.
Listen to you.
Yes, exactly. So, are we ready for the hot seat of the questions?
Well, I thought we were on the hot seat already.
No, no, we're not. So we
Oh,
have
okay.
the wonderful 5 simple questions. Simple.
Okay.
So,
That you're obsessed
and
with.
yes, yeah, I know, Sonia. Uh, but here's the thing: these questions, we miss you too. They are reflections and questions for all of us to listen and ponder about and dig within, right? So we do ask each other on the show here, but these reflections are questions for everybody watching here. Think
Yes.
about this. First one: what is the first sign that an obsession is trying to get your attention rather than drain your energy?
Oh, that's an interesting concept. Um, I would say when my desire to obtain what I want to obtain brings me energy, then I know that this is the direction I need to go. When I do feel that drain of energy, I realize that this is something that is not for my highest good. And before it becomes where I'm completely exhausted from even thinking about it. Uh, and I'm sure there's been times, and I've done it in my life. Believe me, prior to having the tools that I have now, I was in pretty bad shape. But I would have an idea that I had done something wrong, and I would obsess over it, and I would get sick over it, and I would, all of these things where when when what you're planning on doing starts bringing you pain and aggravation, I would say reevaluate. You know,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
this is now looping me instead of helping me create.
exactly. Second question: where in your body do you feel obsession, and what might that sensation be pointing towards?
Oh, that is an interesting one. Okay.
Simple question.
Oh, goodness. Where in my body do I feel that obsession? Um, I would say that the biggest sensation I get is in my gut. And when it starts grumbling, I go, okay, what are you trying to say to me? And and where are you going to direct me? And you know what, dear sister, where in your body do you feel obsession? And what might the sensation be pointing towards?
Exactly. And I think my gut as well, you know,
Yeah.
because it's a very sensitive area for me. I can get stress there, I can get happy feelings, I can get everything. But also, my messages when I listen to myself, my God is going to tell me
Yeah.
what it feels like, what I'm about maybe to make a choice about or decision about, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah. Um, and as we said, obsession can be both um, positive and working a little bit not so positive in our lives, right? It depends on how we take it. So we can give something a try for a certain amount of time, set a timeline for yourself, and then you say, I love myself enough to not continue with this. Because when we are holding on to things,
That's the key.
yes. Um, okay, it took me 3 years to make a choice. I'm not judging myself, but I knew way before. We don't need to sit for 3 years or 10 years or 20 years before we make a choice, right? We
Yep.
also don't need to stress, but we shouldn't be afraid of making a choice, taking a decision, right?
Yeah.
So, third question
Okay.
is is this obsession pulling you forward or keeping you stuck in a loop? How do you determine that?
Um, there again, I would have to go with my intuition and my feeling. Have I accomplished? Uh, Let me just use something physical, like because I have been working in the yard after all of my injuries and getting it done. The joy that I get from seeing one project finished, that joy tells me that I have used obsession, that daily get up, do it no matter what the body feels like, get it done, has given me joy and accomplishment. It doesn't say to me, well, you could do it better. We have to take that down. Now you have to start all over. Now you have to do this. That to me is the different. I feel a sense of accomplishment and completion. And it's almost as if the body says, ah, you know, and I love the little check marks. Cha-ching, that one got done. Cha-ching,
Yeah,
that one got done. And I think that's because I depend so much on my intuition and I trust
yeah,
myself that I realize that the the task has been completed and it pushed me to get that task done, but I'm not going to be obsessed with, well, now we need to change this, we need to do this, we need, so
yeah.
it's
And I would only chime in there, when you are stuck in a loop, when it's something that doesn't give you those things you mentioned. It doesn't give you joy. It doesn't
there's
fulfill
no
you.
completion, there's no finishing. Yeah.
Gut
Yeah.
feeling is very important. Yes, it is. And we all of us have it. No matter if we want to say I follow my gut or not, we have it. All of us have. But that's also
Okay.
is a choice, right?
I'm really weird with loving to bring in the science. Um, there are actually cells within your gut that are like brain cells. They really
Fantastic.
have a thinking ability, what we conceive thinking, and we forget that that's an important part of our communication with ourselves. Is that, and that's why if you do the chakras, you've got the solar plexus right in the
Yeah.
middle where the two come together. And trusting that is, we have learned to ignore it because that's not culturally accepted. But I mean, a child before they get taught language depend on what that gut is telling them. No, I'm not going to go over there. I'm not going to sit on Santa's lap. I'm not going to, something says, be aware. But when we get to be an adult, we talk ourselves out of it. So yeah,
Yeah, we do. Yes.
I love my my middle chakra. I do, my
Yeah,
friend.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Fourth question. What what deeper truth or desire sits underneath the thing you can't stop thinking about?
Oh, that is simplistically very heavy.
That was a deep one.
Oh, geez, we could talk on that for about 7 years. Um, the deeper truths and desires. I think that when you have something that is nudging you to go forward, if you start allowing yourself to look at what is pushing me forward to this, is my desire to wear bizarre looking clothes a need to feel recognized? Is my desire uh, to get my yard the way I want it a desire to show somebody that I can do it? What is the underlying desire that you have? And I think when you're obsessed with something, it gives you an opportunity, as you said earlier, to say what is the root motivation of getting me to do this, because that's what causes the loop,
Yeah.
is that you never quite get it accomplished. But if you take a moment, you go, oh, well, that's why, I mean, this all just happened because my hair was not cooperative today. It wasn't a recession. It was just like, okay, what can I do because my hair is not doing anything? Well, I'll just, fandangle it. So I think all of our spiritual life is trying to, not trying to. We don't try anything. You either do or not do. Yoda says. I believe in Yoda. Um, is the desire to really understand ourselves more and find out what is that motivation that is causing it, that is allowing us to have the possibilities. You see how I keep changing my words?
Yes.
I love it. I have this automatic, word changer in my brain now, but it
But
allows
you
us.
say you say it beautifully.
Well, I'm really, I'm in connection with a higher dimension, and they're the ones that help edit my vernacular. So I thank you. Okay.
Last question. How does obsession shift when you stop resisting it and start listening to it?
Oh, you get a whole lot of things done
Yes,
uh,
you
in the
do.
physical. And even if you find that you're obsessed with a person, if you realize that this is no longer a desire of unconditional love and it's an obsession, if you accept that it is moving you in the wrong direction and say, okay, that's what it's teaching me, now I can let go of it, then you have learned something from it. And that's the whole thing, is moving ourselves into a higher elevation, you know, and I, please, you can add to that. That didn't,
Yeah, but
it
it's
was scattered.
yeah, I think no, it was very good. I think that I not only think, we have talked about resistance today too, because that is basically we are challenging and making things harder for ourselves when we are in an energy of resistance,
Yep.
because that means that we keep ourselves in the loop itself. So we can come to terms with things, maybe today, maybe just a timeline for today. If you frame today, maybe that was not where I exactly want to be, you know, but I can still say, okay, this is how it looks like today. This is how it is. And that helps me remove myself from the energy of resistance,
Mhm.
right? Because otherwise I would be obsessing over, well, I want my life to be different. I want my friends to be different. I want my partner to be different. I want my kids to be different. You know, you name it, my work. And that, as we said in the beginning, that's going to bring us not being here and now, while when we accept, even though we don't want to stay in that place forever, it's not going to last forever. Everything is actually temporary, everything is continuously transforming. So there's nothing to fear, right? There's nothing to fear.
Yes.
And when we start listening to that and release the resistance, we get into the flow again. Things starts to happen.
Yep.
Are you ready for the affirmation, today's
I
affirmation?
I am.
Only,
I am.
only the red part, right? Because I saw something else here that's not into that.
Okay. I start with the I allow, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I allow the magnetic pull within me to become a clear, gentle guide. I trust the deeper truth behind what calls my attention. I choose clarity over chaos, alignment over overwhelm, and soul wisdom over fear. My energy is my compass, and it will always lead me home.
Oh, thank you. That was heartfelt.
I
You know,
felt it.
is there? Yeah, I felt it too. And Miss Sonia loved it. She said, oh, I think all of it since she came in here. But is there anything we want to mention more before we wrap it up for today?
I think that we have obsessively covered this subject for this period of time.
Okay, so here we go. You can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111/streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams and angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming-past. Yeah, it's no problem. You can watch the episode from the beginning after. You can watch the replay, Sonia. And you can connect with us, read articles, and find out more about Karine and myself at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians. And you find Miss Karine Mooney at liquidenergyhealing.com. So our next upcoming show is going to be next Wednesday, August 12th. And we will talk about illuminating horizons, the journey to a radiant world. Yeah, wow. That's going to be a bliss.
Yes.
And we do go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe and every Thursday early morning in Australia. So you are so welcome. And you can always watch the replays for all our shows. So we have quite a few by this time. We have been doing this for 2.5 years, right? Together, you and I.
Yes. Yes.
I found my sister across the globe. So, as we close this cosmic conversation, may the energy of obsession feel a little less maddening and a little more meaningful. May every magnetic pull become a gentle guide. May every mysterious nudge reveal a deeper truth. And may you walk forward with clarity, curiosity, and the courage to follow what calls your soul. Thank you for sharing this space with us. Thank you for listening with your heart. Thank you for exploring the unseen, the felt, and the beautiful human with us. Until next
Yes.
time, with infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we feel you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you.
Yes.
Your cosmic sisters, and yes, Sonia, you are mine too. Yes. Lots of
Yes.
love to everybody and to you, Sonia. Bye.
Bye bye.